Morning guys, how are we doing everybody? I am going to be painting live. My name is Pete Obsolete. Welcome to my humble abode. We've still got about 4 minutes left until I actually start painting. So use that time, get a little idea, get your paper and pens ready, maybe get some paint if you want to get some painting involved, get your sweats on, get your painting gear on, get some water, get a nice little brew, and we're going to get painting. 4 minutes time guys, 4 minutes, alright? Just going to shut those windows. I'm not going to lie, there might be a few weird sounds going on. There's a couple of sirens going by. I do apologise. I hope everybody's doing very well in the current climate. I know it's a very strange time, certainly for self-employed people like myself, but it's all about spreading love, keeping creative and keeping that happy head going, alright? So if you do feel like if you feel like you're getting down a little bit, go for a little walk, get some water, get a bit of food in, stay 2 meters away from anyone, obviously. Wash these, but stay creative. It's all about keeping your head moving, keeping your body moving, a little bit of exercise, a little bit of water, a little bit of food, and then come back to yourself. So yeah, I'm gonna get going in 3 minutes, 3 little minutes. So now's the awkward time where I don't know what I'm gonna say or anything. So please stick with me. These are the canvases. This is my setup at home. Everything's probably a little bit skewy. But yeah, here we are. How are we doing, Cookie Love? Let's get drawing. It's such a nice day outside. Let's use that energy, put it into a bit of art. And again, I'm just going to be painting my normal, kind of a simplified version of what I normally paint. So as you can see, I'm going to be kind of recreating this. Wow. Just straighten this up a little bit. OCD kicking in a little bit. So yeah, get your pens, get a brew, get some paint. It doesn't matter what your materials are. Again, I've got some acrylics, I'll show you them in a sec. I've got some brushes, a couple of acrylics, a couple of pens, and obviously a couple of white bits of paper. It really doesn't matter what you draw today, alright? I'm only doing this to kind of draw with you guys, alright? I'm looking for people to draw with. Obviously we're all in isolation, it's all the L word. So yeah, let's just keep each other entertained. I'm going to be painting anyway, so I thought I may as well share it with you guys. So yeah, just a process of how I would approach it. What do you need? Shouts to Sarah. Hello. It's basic, super basic setup. All right, anything to draw on, literally anything. Okay, get some paper, get a notebook, get a folder. I've got a little record cover that we're going to paint as well. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be blank, it doesn't have to be white, it can be anything. Please ask permission first, obviously. If you're with your parent or guardian and you are watching, sup, welcome. My name is Pete Obsolete, how we doing everybody? Please ask permission first. I like drawing on everything, so we've got to keep it a little bit limited. Ask permission first if you do need it. But honestly, it's about just creating something. If you're just watching with me in the background, or you're painting along with me, or anything like that, absolutely fine. Again, this is just a kind of, I'm just painting. If you guys want to join me, you're very welcome. And it's nice to have you along. Give us a shout, give us a little wave emoji if you're in the building. Yeah, okay, we've got 1 more minute. 1 more minute. So yeah, get the kettle on if you need. Brew time at 10:30 as well, don't forget. So we will have a little break, just so we can get another brew, get some more energy in there. If you need a coffee, need a cup of tea, do your thing. But we're gonna start. So I thought I may as well, it's 10 o'clock now. Good morning everybody. I like drawing on stuff. If you don't know me, my name is Pete Obsolete. Please follow me on Instagram. This isn't just some shameless plug, just so you know where I'm coming from with the work and my approach to art and street art and illustration and creativity in general really. Pete Obsolete on Instagram, Obsolete Formats if you want to see some paintings. I have a few in my room. My tripod isn't good enough to do a 360. We'll get there. But I can show you some work, and it's basically the same techniques and the same procedure that I'm about to show on here that I've created these with. So again, if you get bored, obviously we're using paint. I'm going to be using paint, so I need time to dry a little bit. I get bored pretty quick. So while we're waiting for stuff to dry, we can be working on another canvas or we can be thinking about stuff, or we can be drawing on the wall. So there's quite a few different things that we can get involved. Shouts to Mountain Fitness. Morning Ollie, how you doing, bro? So these were just created in exactly the same way. So these are just simple kind of obsolete pieces that I've created by just putting something on the wall and being bored, alright? So I'll literally put 9 on the wall, paint them, and try and sit down. Because they're not finished, I get annoyed, and so I then have to get up and paint again. It's a very simple and effective way of producing stuff. So again, these are backgrounds that I'm going to work back into. So nothing is really final. You've got to let that creativity flow. Okay, there's some things. I just want to show you my kit as well. So thank you to Cass Art. Again, shouts to everyone who supports Overdrawn. I host an art night with my friend Dave and Charlie Crosby. Shouts to Dave Draws. We called Overdrawn, and we are sponsored by Cass. So all the materials, I mean, I shop there as an artist as well. So all my materials are from Cass. So I have my sketchbook, loads of lovely white paper to draw on. I also have a selection of System 3 acrylics, black, white and red, nice and easy. I've also got some primaries just in case. So I've got the yellow, my favourite yellow in the world, cadmium yellow, beautiful, bit of blue, bit of red. And again, I know art materials are expensive, these are a little bit more of a step up, but these are the chrome golds. There we are. All I've got with me today is my skeleton toolkit, okay? So again, the reduced kind of version of what I'm using. So I'm using simple brushes and a big decorator brush for the big bits, right? I've got some gloss undercoat as well, just for the top layers. You'll see how that comes in, that's a gloss finish. And I also have my big bucket of water, okay? So grab some water, get all your stuff laid out, make sure you've got everything covered. Again, it will get a bit messy. My uniform today is the Rochdale Rising t-shirt, so shouts to everyone involved in the Rochdale Rising. That was a terrible shot of the back. This is my painting shirt, so if you see me in this, you know I'm painting, alright? Love to know my clan, shouts to Hayley and Joy, and everyone supporting. Amazing work. Okay, so let's go. So first off, I'm going to use this guy. Alright, I'm going to basically do a kind of a sort of semi-wash over 1 or 2 of these, and again, we'll know how long it's going to dry and all that sort of stuff. There is no technical knowledge needed, okay, today. I bring in quite a few different types of paint, different techniques and all that sort of stuff. So there's no kind of official, I'm not trying to teach, I'm only trying to guide more than anything, all right? It doesn't matter what quality of kit you've got. Again, Cass, insane quality for a very, very good price. I will shout those guys out again. Amazing art shop in Manchester. So again, this is all about creativity and colour and keeping it moving, alright? So we're just going to move through a couple of different things. Sorry for the long chat. Shouts to everyone watching. Sup Dave G, sup Adam Gilbertson, yes the Fox, how we doing? Got a little bit of a hip hop in the background. Please let me know if it's interrupting or you can hear it, if anything. So I'm going to start with a bit of red. There are a few other tools that you can use for painting that will get a similar quality to a brush or a pen. So even things like, I have tram tickets, okay? If you fold them up, you've got a wedge edge, all right? You'll see what I do later with a border. So much like this, on the back, this is all exactly the same technique that I'm gonna do. So let's get a nice big bit of red on, why not? You can use whatever colours you want, choose your favourite colours. And again, whether you're just drawing freestyling or you're copying what I'm doing, absolutely fine. Please show me your work setups as well if you want to send me some photos about what your setup looks like, just so we know how we're all isolated and getting our little studio offices going, alright? So, just a simple wash. Beautiful red. Again, not too bothered about the quality of the coverage just yet, right? Nice and simple, beautiful red that. Nice and easy. And again, in art, I really look for the texture and stuff. So I really, really like these kind of like broken lines from a dry brush with just a nice big fat bit of acrylic. I'm also going to do this one as well. Alright. Alright, so a little bit heavier. Looking to get that texture in again. Let's see how that comes out in a sec. Sure. Just going to go into my Obsolete pencil case. Shameless plug, told you. If you want one of these, give me a shout. I also use these Poscas, okay? So a really nice way of getting an actual message into your piece. Whether it's the kind of metaphor that you're trying to get out, or the idea behind the painting. You can also do this. Wet me brush. My favourite colours are black, white and red. And they are the colours I use for my label. So these are just the 3 colours that I'm going to be focusing on today. So for the album cover, again, I want this to be just full creativity. So shouts to Austin Sherman, I'm on the TV. Nice one, big man. Okay, so this is going to be a kind of album cover idea. Obviously, I'm going to just apply my techniques to that. A lot of things are dictated. So you've got like the cutout hole as well as the kind of inlay, let alone the shape itself. So I really love working on these. So you'll see what happens. Let's have a look. We're just going to go a little bit crazy on this one, alright? So it's not going to, I'm going to be a bit more loose about the artwork in this. And again, you know, I can just draw on my walls and everything. I've basically just put 2 big bits of paper down, and again that kind of gives me a bit more freedom. I don't have to worry about the wall, or if my landlord's going to have a go at me or anything. So that's fully sorted. I've got some sheet on the floor for drips because it's a carpeted floor. Just bragging. So yeah, there we are. There's the reds. Just get him a little bit thicker on there, and just see how that sits. Wash your brush. And again, I don't know, you probably can't see it, but I am wearing joggers. I'm not just naked from the waist down. I wear joggers that are covered in paint, because if I don't have a towel, I can then just wipe my brush on my trousers or my shirt, and it doesn't matter, it just adds to it. Okay, there we are. So make sure you're not wearing any of your nice stuff. Okay, I want to bring some text into this bit, so I'm just going to go straight in. Yes, it is drying. It is drying. I'm being naughty a little bit. Bit naughty. Okay, let's get a bit of pink in there, why not? So again, Casa Art Studio acrylic, really good standard quality acrylic. Loads of colours. And again, I know I'm being pretty cavalier about the time, about the drying and all that sort of stuff, but it doesn't. Again, I'm not bothered about the kind of the waiting time, because there will be certain things that come out within your painting. Like if you don't leave something to dry, what happens when it blends? What happens if you put a pen over it? What happens if you draw a pencil into it? In fact, one really good way of getting a nice little effect, if you've got quite a bit of heavy paint, you can go in with the opposite end of the paintbrush, or just a pencil, or the end of a biro, Let's think of another lyric. Right, okay. You might not be able to see that, but genuinely the kind of the tear into the paint is a really, really nice effect. And again, this is all about experimentation. So if you find something, if you realise that you're just freestyling and there's a little section that you like, try and remember how you did that, what colours you put with it, maybe change the colours, change the nib, change it, change the format, so change it from a paintbrush to a pen. Loads of different ways of doing it. And my pink does not want to come out today. So I'm just going to go in on the stay safe. I'm using pink, so it's going to blend pretty well with the red. Obviously that's a little bit dry, but we'll see what happens. See how the pink's picking the red up a little bit. We're just going to work over and over and over and not be too cautious about anything, because we can wash everything off. There's a lot of paint on that. Bring a bit more into here as well. So I'm just gonna brush affect that. It might look a bit weird now. The paint on the floor. Don't tell nobody. Lovely, okay. Another one on the trousers. Lovely stuff. Okay. Right, so I'm going to put a green over the top of this. This is going to be my skull canvas, alright? So I don't know if you've seen, I'll show you if you want. So I do quite a few skull-based stuff. These are just coming off the wall. Again, shout me if you like them. So this is my usual kind of canvas work. They normally take about probably about a week, a couple of days if not a week, to finish. Although it does take quite a lot to finish them. It takes quite a while for me to be happy with my work, but obviously, you know, I absolutely love my work, and the skull kind of styling is something that I really want to kind of work on. So I can do a little skull guy here, right? It's gonna be a mix of colours, and again, it might not look clean as a whistle to start with, right? That's important. I don't really like things being clean as whistles too often, so it's all about, again, having that fluidity and being okay with it. So again, what we're going to do, draw the skull in. So I've got a kind of guideline of where I'm going to put my skull when he's finished. Again, not being too careful. I'm going to fill his eyes in as well because I'm going to want them pretty thick. Alright. We'll do one eye. There we go. I'm going to put an X on the other one. Okay. And again, every colour, I like to add a little bit of the same colour to each piece, so it's got a kind of a theme almost. So let's put an X here. And we'll do some more radiant lines coming out of this guy. Again, I realise I'm muddying my brush. But there will be certain blends within in that brush that will work. Any excess paint, straight on the joggers, mate. Okay, so give them 2 or 3 minutes just to air off. And again, when I say you can draw on anything, obviously again, please get permission from whoever is looking after you, or if it's mum or dad or a guardian. But honestly, you can pretty much draw on anything. It took me quite a while to work out what pens go on what, but the amount of stuff, obviously, you can draw on absolutely any surface. So these are some Converse that I've customised. We've got plant pots. We have Objet d'Art. This is a massive thanks mum for my massive paperclip. And obviously the mugs. These are all concept at the moment. I will be dropping some plant pots over summer, so keep an eye out. And obviously, like you know, once you've drawn it and got it printed, it changes the whole game. So yeah, show me what you're drawing as well. Please send me some photos of the work you're doing, and show me your workspace. Again, I was going to have it on my desk, but I thought it was going to be a lot more interactive if I'm like this with the camera. And obviously it gives me loads more wall space, so it's always wise having a little bit of space. Be efficient with that space though. You can make a studio out of any sort of size. It can be a table, it can be a chair if you wanted. I'm tempted, if this goes well, hopefully it will. I'm going to be doing some stuff in the garden as well, so I've got a wall at the back that I paint on as well, so you get to see a little bit more of the kind of different techniques that I use. It is spray paint based, and obviously you know, I don't consider myself a graffiti artist, but I believe in knowing the techniques, and certainly knowing the product and how the product works, and how to assimilate that, or how to make that fit into your style, because it's such an easy way of doing it. And spray paint is super fun to use. Obviously, mask up, gloves and everything. We'll do that next time. Let's have a look at these. So again, any big fat bits of paint, I'm going to just take off here just so they can dry a little bit quicker for you guys. Don't be scared of getting these guys muddy as well. Again, we're washing our hands every 20 minutes, right? So just after brew time, we'll wash our hands and get back to it, all right? So we start clean for the final layers. If these don't dry, if it takes too long, I might do a show tomorrow as well, just so you can see the kind of finished up versions of them and the kind of ideas. It sometimes takes a couple of days to sit in or get an idea right or get that colour right. So yeah, it's all about time, but it's all about creativity. Oh, thank you very much, mate. I completely agree on the score comments. Okay, so this guy's getting a bit drier. So I'm going to put another layer just over this, so you can see the font. I might even go yellow as well. Again, this yellow is amazing. This reminds me of a sort of Jean-Michel Basquiat yellow. Absolutely stunning. So just a simple wash. Again, not being too precious about anything, and just kind of wanting to see how the paint works. Maybe a couple of these in there, maybe. Nothing too serious. It's picking the ink up, but I don't care. I don't care. Let's have a look at this. Alright, let's get back on the score. So let's get some springtime in it. I've got a really nice kind of pea green. Emerald is the official colour. That's the paint. That was the paint. Okay. So again, I've just gone from a yellow. I've cleaned my brush, but there's still a little bit in there, but obviously I'm using green, which is a tertiary colour of yellow. So it'll blend quite nicely. Give them a little mix. Mix, mix, mix. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to just work over the skull a little bit. I really like this red, so I'm going to put the skull back in and maybe bring out his nose or one of the eyes, all right? you go, little word school guy, cool. Okay, we're going to do it. Meow, meow, meow. Continue these gradients out. Again, a little muddying, but it really doesn't matter. If you imagine that you're painting backgrounds, it kind of takes the pressure off the idea of a final piece. Obviously, you're working towards that, but I always find that it's a journey every single time with every different canvas. Even if we're doing kind of series of stuff like this, it's important to kind of let it adapt, be fluid with it, and see what comes out of the different techniques that you're using. Whether that is just a biro, or you use a darker biro, or you switch the colour, or a pencil, slightly different grade of pencil, pen, thickness of pen, all that sort of stuff. So I know that I'm only painting backgrounds at the moment. I can kind of see where I'm going to go with them, but that's only after years of practicing and painting and knowing where I'm going to go and what colours work best with each other. Again, sometimes colours that don't work with each other look amazing in certain balances. But again, it's all about trying. I think if there's time to do that now, now's the time, because you can play with different things. We've got a little bit of I'd say breathing space, but I mean like creativity time. Obviously, I know a lot of kids have got homework and there's exams and the pressures and all that sort of stuff and the worries, but having something like this just at the back, just to take 10 minutes, do a little doodle, it really does change your mind, change your attitude. There we go. Okay, so this guy's looking pretty dry. This yellow's a little bit wet, but he's all right. Green's still a little bit moist. There we go. Red guy's still a little bit wet as well. Okay, cool. Again, with this one, I've left it so it's a super thick line here, so this texture is going to end up looking really nice. And you'll see where these borders come in as well. So when you peel the masking tape off, it'll frame it naturally, which is really nice. Once things start getting a little bit dry here, I'm going to start putting a couple of background marks in here. So again, we're building those layers up. Focus is on the skull, so I want that to be like the kind of inner workings, but the outside, I'm probably going to fill it with black in the end as well. So it's got like a nice black fade over it. However, let's just get some of these in. Super simple, nothing too crazy at all. Again, these are just the signature Obsolete lines, super simple. I thought of 4 icons and drew them. So skull, heart, a crown and a spiral. They are my 4 icons for Obsolete. The lines will mean different stuff. So the circular, the wavy line is kind of calm. The zigzag line is anger and all that sort of stuff. All you have to do is come up with 4 weird shapes and 4 strange looking lines, and you've got yourself a little pan. Right? Again, if it's wet, rescue these lines. Just come up with a couple of radiant lines, why not? Let's put a couple of... Again, layers, 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 alright? And again, this one's taken a little bit of time to dry. I've obviously overrated the pudding a little bit with a brush, but again, it doesn't matter. It's all about like trial and error and working it out. 4 more minutes of painting, and then it's brew time. 4 minutes, let's go. All I'm doing here is doing little waves with a brush. Super simple. And again, the brush is a terrible, terrible quality. But the breaks within the ink, within the paint, I really like. Let's go in a little bit more of this, I think. Nothing too serious, again, building that camo in, so it's got a layer to it, so it's got a depth to it. It's kind of dark, this thing coming out. Balance them up a little bit. Again, allow yourself to go over the edge. I don't know if you can hear me. Allow yourself to go over the edge on those. Certainly if you've got a background, it just frees you up a little bit, and it means that you can get the shape in rather than trying to synthesize the shape. Okay, that's simple. I do that just to get the main bit of the paint off the brush, just so I can get a nice little rough edge. More than that. You'll see where I go in there in a minute. And I think that is good timing. Just before we hit brew time, if you're using paint, please get a little pot of water and put your paintbrush in it. It will just keep the bristles nice and fluid. If you leave the paint on, they will dry. You will have to throw them away. Again, they do kind of get a nice effect, like with this one, with a broken edge. Sometimes if you use old brushes or old pens, they do have a certain quality to them. So, I mean, I hoard all my pens, just in case I've got one that's 6 months old, nearly run out of ink, completely dry, but it will give a different texture. So it's all about experimenting with your brushes. 1 more minute, and then it's brew time. I'm basically just touch testing to see if they're dry. A very simple way of doing it. Nice warm day today though, so they should be dry pretty quick. This guy is a heavy boy. Okie dokie, 10:30. It is tea time. Go and put the kettle on, go for a wee, get some more water. We'll take, I don't know, do you want to say 5 minutes? We'll say 5 minutes. I can just talk through some stuff, play some tunes, prep some more wool. If you guys want to go and get a cup of tea, put the kettle on. I'll see you in 5 minutes. I'm just going to be here. I am going to put a kettle on, obviously. So yeah, see you in 5. Enjoy your cup of tea. Right, I'm putting the kettle on. Yes, Mila. How you doing, bro? I hope you're watching. I hope you're painting a little bit for me. Fellow high tower in the building. Shouts to Mila and Hughes. Cup of tea's on. Excuse me on the messages. Hello to everyone watching again. My name's Pete Obsolete. So music wise today, I'm listening to a chill hop mix. It's a spring mix for a chill hop. Again, these kind of mixtapes are really good for your brain, really good for your head. Have a listen, chill hop on everything on YouTube. Please also check me out on YouTube, Pete Obsolete. Shouts to Dead Kings, shouts to Thought Process, shouts to everybody repping. I've just heard my kettle go. 2 seconds. If you've just joined us, it is brew time. Yeah, brew's on, mate. Nice one. Shouts to the Gunny boys. So, could you also send me your mugs? Shouts to Boho Utopia, RIP. I miss those guys. Shouts to Whitney and Gina and all the girls and everyone repping. Show me what your favourite mug looks like. All right, get your mugs out. Take a photo. Weirdest mug. High 5 points. I don't know. There's no competition. It's fine. But I just want to see what you're sipping your tea out of. Obviously, I don't need to say. Mine's an obsolete mug. Okay, that is your 5 minutes up. We're going to see how these paintings are doing. Again, touch test. See if they're dry. This guy's getting there. This guy isn't getting there. See what's back saying. He's going to be dry in a minute. This guy's good. Okay, cool. Okie dokie. So back in the building. I hope everyone's alright. If you've just joined us, we are just painting today. Nothing too crazy, nothing technical, nothing too serious at all. We're just getting some paint out and staying creative to keep this and this pumping, alright? So, I'm just going to mix up some of the satin. So again, paint goes hard if you leave it. This is just decorator satin, nothing too clever. But the finish on it is a really, really, really nice gloss. When it dries, it's literally, it's almost reflective. Just going to get that sorted. Lovely. Okay. I wanted to keep this really subtle, certainly this one. So I'm going to go for a kind of minimal side of things. I'm probably just going to put a heart in it again, but make it a little bit more creative. That's the brush I was looking for. wipey wipe. Again, I hope you're having a nice creative morning, everybody. If you're not painting, draw, doodle, write something, write a poem, write a message to me if you want, just something to keep your mind off things and keep your mind on creativity. So, I'm going in with the satin. And again, the nicest thing about this paint, super drippy. So it'll drip really nice. Again, I don't care about that. Just something simple. Oh. Cool. So again, you might see me stepping back a little bit just to see what it's looking like from a distance, because obviously if you're working within like a foot of it or something, you're not going to see the full picture, literally. So, I'm just going to get him a little bit fatter. Maybe give him some more hair. There we go. Okay. Again, everything looks a little bit rough at the moment, and these are still first, if not fifth layers of a kind of journey for the canvas. Alright, so nothing too serious at all. Got another heart around here. A bit more drip on that. Again, if you want more drip, just put slightly a bit more paint on the area you want it to drip. You can also blow it as well. The natural drips are way better. Go. I'm just kind of doing a little bit wet, a little bit wet. I don't really want to do this right now, but I want to just show you how that looks off the actual page, just so you get a bit more of the kind of physicality of it. So, again, still super wet, and I nearly dropped it, but as a record sleeve, that's getting somewhere, okay? So again, I'm looking for the textures. I'm looking for the tears in the brush and the different colours in there. So that pink and the sort of mudded yellow gets hidden, and again kind of sits back into it. Obviously we've got the back as well. You might see me what I do with that later. So yeah, just going to put him back up so we know where we are. So good. Again, I'm going to show you this as well. This white was going to take the longest time to dry because it's gloss, but if you can, I don't know if you can, if I can angle it. Hold on a second, I'm just trying to find the sun is. I just look like a weirdo moving this bit of paper around, I don't know. There you go, you can see the gloss in that, the slight reflect, that won't go. So once that's dry, that's going to be the finish of that paint. And it is incredible to paint over, it's super smooth. So if you've got a Posca, look at these natural drips, love these little bits. Natural mistakes, the best way. But yeah, a Posca will sit beautifully over that. So once this is all done and dry, I'm going to then go over it again. There we are. So a little bit more dry here. And this one's getting there as well. Again, normally a canvas or a piece like these will probably sit in my room and in my head for about 3 or 4 days, if not a week. So actually being able to paint something that dries and then I can work on naturally is kind of a challenge. However, I might get a hairdryer. Don't need it though. So let's have a look at this guy. Okay, that's getting there. Let's put something over this dude. What else we got? Not too bad. So I'm going to get some gold out just to show you the end of the effect of the acrylic. I want to put some white in that first. Then. First off, I'm going to put some white in the heart. So again, just System 3, Daler and Rowney, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful acrylic. Give it a little shake, shake. "15 minutes left, guys. 15 minutes. Let's keep drawing. If I can open my paint. I think you all just got my I'm struggling to open my paint face just then. I do apologise. We're all friends here, aren't we? Again, all I'm using is this dead brush for the Stay Safe. Alright, it is a dead brush, literally. Again, that kind of knowing that it's not as smooth as I wanted it, or knowing that maybe the ink hasn't, the paint hasn't gone on it as efficiently as it could have done. That's all part of that learning process. That those mistakes and that mistakeism within the art is something that I really kind of I put a lot of faith in, because it allows you certain freedoms. You don't have to use the best stuff. You don't have to use the top drawer paint quality. You can use anything you've got at home, really, literally. So yeah, dead brush. You'll be seeing him more, I'm sure. Washy, wash, wash. Okay. Just going to let those dry for another 2 minutes, 3 minutes, then we'll see where we're at. Please let me know if you've enjoyed the last 50 minutes. I'm tempted to do more of this kind of stuff. And obviously I'm just going to be painting anyway in my free time and doodling. So if you do want to see more of this, please let me know. Thank you, Mairen. I'm thinking of doing lessons or like kind of art classes through this as well. So if you do want that, please give me a shout, let me know. Also, yeah, send me your mugs. These and these. I want to see your favourite mugs. And I want to see your artwork as well. So please tag me in any pictures you've got. If your kids are painting or something, please send them me. Amazing to know that that we're kind of entertaining each other, and that if you need someone to paint with, I'm here. And obviously, you know, I'm in isolation. I'm single. I'm in isolation. I'm going to be painting and drawing a lot. Probably rapping a bit as well, but that's another video. So if you do want to see more of this kind of stuff, give me a shout. Any ideas you want for those lessons, give me a shout. If there's something you've seen of mine that you want to kind of learn, oh, what's that pen? What paint do you use? You know, these kind of questions. I'm an open book. Please give me a shout and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability. A couple of things as well, just while we're waiting for the last drying check. Please follow Overdrawn. So I host an art night. It's an interactive art night. We work with some of the best people I've ever met in Manchester, certainly with the venues, let alone the artists themselves. So we have a night at Stretford Food Hall and Sale, groceries and beer. We've been at Anco's General Store, Deaf Institute, we're at Bay Horse, we're at Pilcrow. We've done loads and loads of different stuff, and it's all about getting adults back into that mindset of drawing and kind of letting go of those the fine art ideas of painting, and you have to be an oil pastelist or something. It's not about that. We just want to get people drawing and realizing that you can just draw. It doesn't matter if you're good at drawing. Everybody starts terribly at drawing, all right? Everybody. You have to just keep practicing and drawing and finding your own little style. And the other thing is that everybody has their own style. So there's no real limit to what you can do because it's you. If you take your favourite artist, mine being Keith Haring, if you draw like him, or if you see a piece of Andy Warhol's and you draw that, that becomes your little style, all right? Yeah, it might be someone else's, and obviously use your imagination if you are drawing and all that sort of stuff, but if you need a creative kick, find your favourite piece of art, recreate it, simple as that. It can be in Biro. You could do a Pierre Mondrian cubist drawing in Biro, and there will be things within that process, there will be techniques and procedures within that process that might spark something in you as well. All right, so keep doing that. Touch test. Okay, so the gloss is still super wet, super duper. This guy's nice and flat now. Oh, nice. Stay safe. And this guy obviously still a bit wet as well. Let's close up as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm thinking tomorrow I might be painting over this. All right, so this is one of my canvases. It's been sitting in my flat for a while. I like it, but I think I could improve on it. So again, this kind of the idea of not being precious about your work, letting a lot of stuff go, certainly within art. Am I good enough? Is this the right shading? Is that the right colour to do? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Just draw, get some pens, keep drawing. So I'm going to be painting over this. Maybe tomorrow, if I get enough people saying, yeah, give us a shout, you know, let's do a little show, I'll paint over that tomorrow as well. And so we'll create a kind of bigger, if I say more professional, that's the wrong word, but a lot more structured. It is a physical canvas, you know what I mean? It's a narrow frame canvas that I'm just going to whitewash and then start again. All right, so if you want to see that, please give me a shout, give me a heads up. Nice one, hope everyone's all right still and we're still drawing and stuff. I'm kind of waiting for my stuff to dry a little bit. If you're waiting as well, have another little sip of your brew. Nice work, guys. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. So again, I'm just going to use white Posca. White Poscas, they now come with a bullet tip. So this is like a much more rounded line rather than a thin kind of wedge line. So these are amazing. I'm just going to put some white patterns into this record cover. He is going to be a skull eventually, so it's going to have elements of this in there. But I kind of want to build that background again, give that kind of depth. Bad form, bad form. A little bit of black paint just got on my pen. That's okay. Okay, so those layers have been built. Leave that white to dry a little bit. Again, none of these are finished. None of these are anywhere near kind of finished. Some near, but I'm very open to letting things happen naturally, certainly. And obviously, if you've got a piece that you think is unfinished, don't overdo it. You can always like ruin a really nice piece by over layering. So have a sit down.